Every time you take a step on the ground, you're stepping into something that supports beneficial life in every possible way. Just look at the soil below your feet. Did you know that these 40 billion hectares of soil participate in the cycle of carbon dioxide, other elements, and the growth of plants worldwide? You might think that only humans and land animals benefit from this soil. Little did you know that in the aquarium hobby, there's also soil for the aquatic life and plants to enjoy. You heard it right. The alternative I'm telling you about are aquarium substrates. You're already familiar with them if you've been to a local fish store, but there are many selections out there. That's why for today's video, I'll be breaking down the best substrates for planted tanks only here at your trusted channel in the fish keeping industry, the Aquarium Store Depot. We did a poll on our community tab on this channel and found out that nearly 90% of you keep freshwater tanks. And of those, 36% of you keep freshwater plants. Some plants available in the hobby need rich substrates to grow well. When keeping an aquarium, aquarists also have questions they want answered before they start planting. Many aspects go into choosing the ideal substrate for planted tanks. But what exactly is a substrate? A substrate is a unique kind of material that will be used to root aquarium plants, such as gravel. These plants will take root in the substrate, develop, and grow by utilizing the nutrients in the substrate. Many plants, however, are water column feeders, meaning that they'll get their nutrients from the water rather than the substrate. Thus, it is also fair to call this out. Column feeders include some of the low-light plants we highlighted on our official website at www.aquariumstoredepot.com and in previous videos highlighted in the card above. Although some aquariums have no substrate, you should know that we prefer it for a planted tank. Most planted substrates contain nutrients that promote plant growth, but let's explore further. The nutrient-rich plant substrates will decompose in your tank and release nutrients into your aquarium. If you choose the right plants, they will then consume it. Your nutrient levels will jump if you buy a high-nutrient substrate, but if you purchase the wrong plants or not enough of them, the other thing that'll devour these high levels will be algae. Lots of algae. Because of this, we must be cautious while choosing the aquarium plants and substrate to buy. When your plants are young and need to establish themselves in your aquarium, these substrates will be rich in nutrients, allowing them to grow. Let's talk about our top 7 substrate candidates for planted tanks picked just for you. Starting our list with the most famous soil used by pro aquascapers, ADA Aquasoil Amazonia. The ADA Amazonia substrate blend is well known to aquascape professionals everywhere. Most tropical fish and plants prefer mildly acidic water, which is achieved by lowering the hardness and pH values. Due to the high nutrient content, ammonia and phosphate are abundant in the substrate when first placed in the tank. This can be the biggest problem with this substrate, as it can contain many nutrients which will harm a newly planted aquarium during the establishment phase. Don't put me in the tank until ammonia and nitrates are 0 ppm. Because of the high levels of nutrients, this may result in algae outbreaks, hazy water, and numerous water changes during the substrate's 8-week establishment phase. A planted tank dry start is one method aquarists use to address this problem. Due to the high concentration of nutrients in this substrate, it's simpler to grow new plants using the dry start method, making this substrate a favorite for this technique. This works hand in hand with many rooted plants, as you can plant away and dry start them while going through the establishment period. This may seem like a burden for some new aquascapers. Additionally, as the substrate degrades over time, it must be replenished every 1 to 2 years. If you're not careful when adding new soil, the substrate will leak away ammonia, which could pose a serious issue when it comes time to change the soil. It's a substrate that works best for an expert aquarist. Due to its prestigious brand and excellent production quality, you should prepare your pockets because ADA Aquasoil is also a pricey substrate. Check out these pros and cons on your screen before you consider purchasing. Did you know that lava and ash-derived nutrients from volcanic soil are abundant and encourage plant growth? If so, you should try Fluval Stratum. Created explicitly for shrimp aquariums, Fluval Stratum is a specialist substrate. It's made of volcanic soil and is a porous material, which helps a lot of good bacteria flourish. Most tropical fish and plants will also benefit from the pH being naturally lowered by it. When first added to the tank, it also leaves the water unaltered. Make sure the substrate is not underneath any rocks or driftwood you plan to use when placing in this substrate. Under pressure, the substrate's prone to breaking. Once it does, the tank can no longer utilize it. It is lightweight, and the ease of siphoning out for tank cleaning are its main drawbacks. It works well for planted tanks and is much cheaper than ADA Aquasoil. It's an excellent substitute and a more affordable choice. Furthermore, many stores sell it. You can further take your time in contemplating this substrate by reading the pros and cons on your screen. Going third on our list of substrates is the Carib-Sea Eco-Complete. With plenty of liquid fertilizer injected into the substrate, Carib-Sea Eco-Complete is a balanced product. To facilitate easy absorption, the soil keeps the fertilizer within it. Additional advantages include that it doesn't permanently lower pH or hardness. You get the benefit of a commercial substrate while also having the advantage of having a substrate that is inert as a result. It's also not going to leach out ammonia and nutrients when you fist plant it, making this substrate very approachable for a beginner. There are two colors available, red and black. The fact that a colony of advantageous bacteria is already present on it is a bonus. When setting up a tank, this will shorten your cycle time. Its high iron content makes it better suitable for plants with reddish hues, which is another bonus. The biggest drawback of Carib-Sea Eco-Complete is that larger plants may not be able to securely anchor due to their small weight. For bottom dwellers, its shape could be more optimal. However, it's one of the most affordable and widely accessible substrates for planted tanks. If you have a tight budget or you're a beginner, it's a fantastic choice. Check out more about the pros and cons of this famous substrate on the list flashed on your screen. If you're a European aquascaper, you might already be familiar with this fourth substrate, called Tropica Aquarium Soil. It's a premium European planted tank substrate with a more natural appearance than ADA soil. Tropica is a well-known brand in Europe and is building a name for itself in North America as a top aquasoil. It's comparable to ADA Aquasoil but won't leach as much ammonia as ADA. Because of the unevenness of its grain, the substrate has a more natural appearance. It'll drop pH and hardness, similar to most substrates on this list, making it perfect for most tropical fish and plants. Check out the pros and cons on your screen for additional info about this product. Like ADA but want to spend less? Check out Mr. Aqua Aquarium Soil. The aquarium substrate, Mr. Aqua Aquarium Soil, is comparable to ADA Aquasoil but contains less ammonia. The porous, granular texture of this substrate facilitates water exchange. Like most of the soils on this list, it'll soften water and lower pH. This strikes me as a good, less expensive alternative for people who want ADA grade but prefer to spend less. However, if you visit our official website at www.aquariumstoredepot.com, we've already supplied ways on how it could be simpler for you to purchase the product, even though it can be difficult to acquire locally. So visit our website later, because you still have to see the pros and cons of this product on your screen. New here in the hobby but love the ADA brand? That's no problem, because we've got a beginner-friendly soil from ADA. Try the ADA Aquasoil Amazonia Light. A more approachable ADA soil is Amazonia Light. There are fewer nutrients in this substrate, and as a result, the establishing period and the number of algae spikes will be reduced when the plants start growing. Most tropical fish and plants prefer mildly acidic water, which is achieved by lowering the hardness and pH levels with this substrate. This is a better substrate to start with if you're searching for ADA soils but want to avoid as disruptive of an 8-week cycle period. Here's the list of pros and cons you can check out before purchasing one. Finally, the last substrate we got on the list, also known as a reliable clay product, is the Seachem Fluorite. Over time, you won't need to replace Seachem Fluorite, a clay-based substrate, in your aquarium. With this brand, you may find the substrate that works for you because it's available in various colors and grain kinds. Since Seachem Fluorite is made of clay, it won't change the chemistry of your tank, allowing you to use supplements to change your parameters as needed. Compared to substrates like ADA or Mr. Aqua, Seachem Fluorite is not nutrient loaded. Thus, you won't see the initial outbreaks of algae that these substrates do. Additionally, because of its pointed construction, it's not suitable for bottom dwellers. So if you enjoy bottom-dwelling fish like cories, the soil's not the best for them, or you might want to consider a sand area for them to forage on. For those who want to create a natural-looking aquarium with plants that feed the water column, Seachem Fluorite is a fantastic natural soil. Check out more about this product's pros and cons on your screen. Do you like the products we showed you in this video? If so, share your top 3 favorites by commenting below, because these 3 are our best options. However, if you find it difficult to distinguish which substrate to try, or if you're considering other substrates featured in this video, I can share with you the 4 factors to consider in choosing aquarium soil. First, the grain size. You want a 1 to 3 millimeter range for grain size, with 2 millimeters often the ideal size. Second, the material. Substrates like coral sand or limestone chips are examples of materials that we should generally steer clear of since they raise the hardness or pH. Third, the CEC value. The term cation exchange capacity also applies to this. This represents the substrate's capacity to bind fertilizer for aquarium plants and other substances. Generally speaking, the more significant the better, as substrates with higher CEC values will retain nutrients for plants to use better in the substrate. And fourth, the weight. When managing these, a hefty or large substrate may present challenges for plants with small or delicate roots. Depending on your general plant selection, this is something to consider. Lastly, let's talk about DIY roots, as I know there are many channels on YouTube that feature natural aquariums or aquariums that utilize dirted substrates. This involves using a garden or topsoil when capping the soil with either a coarse sand or one of the products mentioned in this video. This can not only save money, but can be just as effective when done correctly, as some of the substrates mentioned in this video. It is something that does require careful research, while ready-made products already have what you need. You'll need to find soils that are safe for aquarium usage and are organic. You'll also want to research and see if these soils greatly alter water chemistry. Cycle times could be extended also if you purchase a very nutrient-dense soil. All in all, this is a topic that's best covered in a separate video. I would suggest you consult with someone who has experience with doing this, so you can implement soil correctly without accidentally harming your livestock. If you want to know more about this topic, you can always visit our official website at www.aquariumstoredepot.com. For detailed blogs about types of substrates, DIY routes in coming up with a substrate, and frequently asked questions are available. Since so many substrates are on the market, deciding which is the best might require some clarification. The ideal place to begin is by determining what plants and arrangements you want, then moving on to your substrate. You can use an insert substrate and have tremendous success if you plan to use predominantly column-feeding plants. Have any questions? Comment it below, and we'll reach out as soon as possible. Because here at Aquarium Store Depot, we only want what's best for you and your fish. I'll see you again on the next topic, fish keepers. Remember to like and subscribe to this video. Thanks for watching.